Have you ever wondered what true wealth really is? Not the kind of wealth measured in coins, possessions, or titles, but the kind of richness that can never be stolen from you. Today, I want to share with you a Zen story, simple on the surface, but endlessly deep in meaning. It is called "The Moon Cannot Be Stolen." Picture this: a small wooden hut rests at the base of a quiet mountain. The night is calm. The air is cool. Inside the hut lives an old Zen master. He owns very little: a mat to sleep on, a kettle for tea, and a few simple robes. His life is stripped down to the bare essentials, but his spirit is full. Now, one evening, while the master is away walking under the stars, a thief comes creeping into the hut. The thief has heard whispers that the master is well respected, and he imagines there must be some hidden treasure here: gold coins, jewelry, maybe even ancient scrolls of wisdom worth a fortune. He searches everywhere: under the mat, inside the small chest, behind the kettle. But there is nothing. No gold, no coins, no possessions of value, just emptiness. And then, suddenly, the door slides open. The Zen master returns. There he stands, calm as the moonlight, looking at the intruder who has broken into his home. Now, most people in this situation would shout, chase the thief, maybe call for help. But the master simply smiles. "Ah," he says softly, "you came so far to see me. You should not leave empty-handed." The thief freezes, confused. The master begins to remove his robe, the only robe he has. "Here," he offers gently, "take my clothes." The thief, startled and embarrassed, grabs the clothes and runs into the night, leaving the master standing naked in the doorway. But the master does not chase him. Instead, he sits quietly outside his hut, looking up at the glowing moon. "Poor fellow," he whispers to himself, "how I wish I could give him this beautiful moon as well." Now, pause for a moment. What just happened here? Why would anyone act this way? And what does it mean when the master says, "The moon cannot be stolen"? Let's explore. The surface story is simple. A thief comes, finds nothing, and leaves with the master's clothes. But the teaching is profound. True wealth does not lie in material things. True wealth is in how you see the world, how you live, and the freedom of your spirit. The thief believed that treasure meant gold, jewels, possessions. He came to take something away. But the master's greatest treasure was not in the hut. It was not on the shelves, not under the mat, not even in the robe he gave away. The treasure was his state of mind. Think about it. The master lost nothing. He was not upset. He was not afraid. He even gave freely. And after giving, he was still rich, because his wealth was in gratitude, freedom, and peace. Now, imagine yourself in that hut. If someone took from you the little you had, would you still feel rich? Or would you cling, fight, and suffer? This is where Zen teaches us something radical. It says, if your wealth depends only on possessions, you will always fear loss. But if your wealth is in your heart, in your way of seeing life, then you can never be poor. The master gazed at the moon because the moon represented something vast and eternal: beauty, wonder, light. He could not give it away physically, but in spirit, he already shared it with the world. Now, let's dive deeper. Throughout history, philosophers and spiritual teachers have said similar things. The Stoics in Rome taught that true wealth is living with virtue. The Buddhists remind us that attachment is the root of suffering. Jesus said, "Lay not up treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, but treasures in heaven." All of these point to the same truth. what you own can vanish, but what you carry inside endures. So let me ask you, what is your moon? What is the thing in your life that cannot be stolen, no matter what happens? For some, it is love. For some, it is wisdom. For others, it is faith. And for the Zen master, it was awareness, the simple joy of life itself, shining like the moon. Now, let's reflect on the thief for a moment. Did he truly steal anything? Yes, he took the master's clothes, but what did he really gain? A few hours of warmth, a fleeting moment of victory. In truth, he walked away still poor, not because of what he had, but because of what he lacked. He lacked the vision to see the moon. This story also holds a challenge for us. So often, we live like the thief. We look around at others and think, if only I had what they had, their money, their success, their possessions, then I would be rich, then I would be happy. But the truth is, if we cannot see our own moon, nothing we steal, buy, or collect will fill the emptiness inside. The Master reminds us that peace, joy, and freedom are not found in getting, but in seeing beauty, in seeing wonder, in seeing life as a gift. Now, let's bring this lesson closer to home. Think about the last time you lost something. Maybe money, maybe a job, maybe even a relationship. At that moment, it may have felt like the end of the world. But years later, do you still carry the pain? Or did you discover that life goes on, that new joys appear, that the moon still shines above you, no matter what you've lost? This is the heart of Zen wisdom. The outer world changes, things come and go, but the inner world, if you cultivate it, can remain unshakable. The Zen master teaches us 3 lessons here. First, practice letting go. By giving away his clothes, he showed that he was not chained to possessions, he was free. Ask yourself, what are you clinging to so tightly that it robs you of peace? Second, learn to see beauty everywhere. The master looked at the moon. He did not see poverty, he saw wealth. Right now, in your own life, can you find something beautiful, even if everything else seems lacking? Third, share what cannot be stolen. The master could not give the moon physically, but he shared it in spirit. What can you share with the world that no one can take away? Maybe it's your kindness, maybe it's your wisdom, maybe it's your smile. And so, we return to the beginning of the story. The thief came for treasure, but the master was already rich. The thief took clothes, but the master gave peace. The thief left empty inside, but the master sat full under the moonlight. So, my friends, remember this. When you lose possessions, you may think you are poor, but when you lose sight of the moon, you are truly poor. True wealth lies not in what you own, but in how you see, and that is why the moon cannot be stolen. Now, before we end, let me leave you with a question. What is the moon in your life, the thing no one can take from you? Reflect on it, hold it close, and let it be your true treasure. If this story touched you, share it with someone who may need a reminder that real wealth is not in the things we chase, but in the peace we carry. And if you'd like to hear more Zen stories with lessons for life, don't forget to subscribe and join me again for the next one. The moon is shining, my friends. Look up. It is already yours.